Nick Roush now, happy to be joined by an outside linebacker for the University of Kentucky. His name is Jamar Watson, but you know him as Boogie. Boogie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm great. I just made a quick grocery run. I'm ready to roll. And I know you've been busy this morning. Y'all are back. You're back on
Yes,
campus.
sir.
How did it feel to get back on the field with your teammates for the first time?
Well, I work out at 2:30, so I know I've been texting a couple of guys that's already been in there. You know, it's a lot small group, so spread out throughout the day. So I'm at 2:30, so I'm just excited, ready to go. I'm ready to see Coach Ed, see Coach Hill, see all the guys.
It's got to be kind of weird. Like most of the time, you're begrudgingly just, oh man, got to have
Right.
Coach Ed and Coach Hill get on you. I bet it's a
Right.
different emotion. Like, hey, we finally
Oh,
get to
yeah.
go back to normal.
Yeah, for sure. You know, like during spring ball and doing winter workouts, it's like, man, what Coach Ed got for us today, how he gonna kill us today. But you know, like today, I'm excited to see him. You know, I know he's gonna joke with me and be excited to see me as well. So I'm just excited to get back to normal.
So now, are y'all doing kind of position group type deals, or is it just random with like dudes your size?
Honestly, that's a great question. I'm not sure, but I know I was talking to Jordan Wright and JJ, and they're both at 12:30, so I probably won't be by position.
Mm-hmm. How difficult has it been just staying in touch with everybody throughout this? I'm sure you go from kind of seeing everybody all the time every day to having to text all the time. Like I bet it's tough.
Right, definitely different, you know, because you know, when you're in the locker room, it's guys that you probably wouldn't text or talk to on FaceTime, but you just have kind of a unique locker room and practice field relationship. You know, whether it's a scout team player from the opposing side of the ball that you see more often on the season, things like that. You know, it's those type of relationships that I miss personally, and I'm sure other guys miss because the guys your position group. We still have position meetings and things like that, so we kind of stay gelled and throughout the whole quarantine. But there's a couple guys here and there that just you wouldn't maybe talk to every day on FaceTime or through text, but that's just that locker room unique relationship is something I miss.
Like you can't jaw with the DBs as easily,
Right.
because they're always mouthing, and it's not the same if it's over text or something like that.
Right.
So, I'm glad you all get to be back, even if it is under weirder circumstances, just to get that camaraderie aspect back. And also, I'm sure you're tired of doing workouts with bands and like body
Definitely. I'm anxious to see how I feel when I get into that bar today. It's kind of I've been, got a weight room about 10 minutes away that I've hit throughout the quarantine, but just being under there with Coach Ed, just a different feeling.
Now, I've got a couple questions that I don't think I've ever asked you before, and I don't know how we made it this far. You're going in your final season. I don't think I've ever asked you where'd you get the name Boogie?
All right, I don't think you have either. But this is this cool, unique story. Me and another guy playing basketball on the AU team. We had the same name. Well, his was Jamal. Mine was Jamar. His was Jamal. And our coach was just kind of like, we both played a lot of minutes, and he yelled at us. We both would always look. We both would always think he's talking to us. But one day, it was like one of us had to come up with a nickname. My father's nickname was Bookie with the K. So my older sister swapped out the K with the G. It kind of just stuck since then.
I like that. I can just imagine your coach. Like, I bet y'all little kids. He's just like, I'm tired of getting this Jamal and Jamar mixed up. We got to do something different. So, okay. I don't know how I never heard that story before. It did. I was curious if it had anything to do with your tap dancing background at all.
Yeah, that's a bullshit thing.
You don't still like throw those around any anymore, do you?
The tap dance?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't have my shoes anymore. If I had my shoes, I got hardwood floors in my apartment out here. So if I had shoes, I probably would get a little bit in here and there.
So now that like I think things were kind of going, you had the normal off season up to a certain point, and then you missed like a month of spring practice. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you all kind of do individual meetings with your position coach at the end of the year, correct?
Yeah.
So when you're sitting down at a meeting with Coach White, what's he kind of saying? Hey, Boogie, you did this great. Like, I'm really happy. Keep doing this. What were some of the things he liked about what you did last year?
Just my pass rushes. He liked I made all my rushes look the same. I've used different moves, but all of them kind of start off the same. That's something that we practice a lot, throughout the season and in the camp. But at the same time, that's where my biggest corrections come from, is not finishing on some of those pass rushes. You know, sometimes I would beat the tackle and not strain to get the sack, or, you know, my body goes in a relaxed mode as I beat the tackle and let the quarterback slip away. So I kind of, the biggest thing that he compliments me on is also, you know, the biggest critique as well.
Okay, yeah, and that's kind of where I was going to go next. Is like, what is it that is it just an effort thing, or is there something that you can kind of go back and look on film and watch and say, all right, this is what I should have done differently here?
Right. He did a great job of putting clips together that kind of all similarly go hand in hand. Like the bandy play, pretty sure you remember when I had a clean sack on the quarterback and just I didn't reach. You know, I let the pressure, the tight end blocking me, you know, taking too far off the pocket, and I just could have strained and reached around the corner and would have had a sack. So just small things like that. He put together clips in there. You know, he put together all my missed tackles, all my run blocking. I'll take on tackles on the run game as well. So he just done a great job of allowing me to see, you know, the things I can improve on.
Now, everybody knows that. I mean, I don't think it's especially after what Josh did, that Coach White knows what the hell he's talking about when it comes to X's and O's. But I don't, you know, we don't get to see exactly what those fundamentals are and stuff like that. What's like just one kind of basic fundamental that you've kind of learned by working with Coach White?
The most simple thing I think is hand placement. You know, he talks about elbows being out, thumbs being up. You know, a simple thing like that when you take on a block. A lot of guys think they got to go down, you know, to apply force, but if you got your thumbs up, so you have a lot more force than if you have your thumbs either parallel or down. So just things like that, keeping your elbows in, you take on blocks and things, playing in the phone booth. Probably the biggest thing he taught me. You know, a lot of guys think have to wind up and do all these, you know, YouTube moves, you know, things like that.
Right.
But he's just taught me how to play in a phone booth. You know, how everything should be right in front of your body, and that's the biggest thing that he's taught me.
Interesting. Now, I'm curious in practice, who's harder to rush, Kennard or Landon?
That's a great question. It's so different. In practice, I would say DK is a very patient pass blocker. So in practice, you know, he won't shoot his hands until maybe you're 3 yards up the field. So for him, you have to get a lot of bull rush. You have to try to get in his chest early in the snap count, because he's not going to show his scars too early ever. You know, especially in practice. I honestly don't know if that's what he does in the game all the time. But in practice, he's a very patient setter. He wants you to show your hands first, and then he'll make a move after that. So I think Landon will give you more to work with, give you more to do. You can do more because he'll show you his hand. And he's a strong guy, a strong kid, so he's not worried about putting his hands on you because he thinks he can put them on you and lock you up. So I think you get more opportunities to do certain rushes against Landon, where DK kind of forced into a bull rush or a speed rush around the corner because he's so patient.
I never thought of it that way, just how one goes about pass blocking and just when,
Right.
like you said, when they show their hands. Because at first I just think, well, Landon, his arms are so long, like
Right.
trying to be able to get separation from him when he can just lock onto you, that's got to be difficult.
Right.
Now, you see those guys in practice. Are you all able to – I know schematically you can see what they're doing, but are you able to see how an offensive tackle, like on film, are you able to pick up their tendencies like that just by watching film?
Well, that's one of Coach White. He has a PhD in studying tackles. Man. He sees things. He watched 3 reps with a player and you know, break down his whole game in 3 reps. You know, so that's probably one of the biggest things that I missed with Coach White as well. Just his ability to break down tackles. We go into a game week and he knows everything they're doing. They move their knee an inch, you know, and things like that. So definitely he's helping with Landon and Derek Kennard too, because those are the guys we rush against the most.
That's wow. You know, you don't consider that until you say it like that. So I appreciate that. I wanted to run this quote by you that Coach Stoops actually said. I don't know, it was probably like a month ago or something. But he said that, you know, he's saying some nice things about you. And he said you were doing some elite things, not just as a pass rusher, because that's what everybody looks at and gets all the attention, but he has really been taking it to another level playing on his feet. What does he exactly mean by that?
Just being more urgent and knowing where I'm precise where I'm going. I feel like my sophomore year and spring of going into last season, I kind of was dancing around, wasn't moving with enough conviction, I feel like in my body. And I just feel like now when I go to go make a stunt inside, I'm gone. I'm going to drop to the hook and get in there. There's no wasted movement. And I just think I was very precise with everything I was doing.
And it felt like too. So last summer you went on the service trip to Ethiopia,
Right.
and just from the limited discussion you've had about it, it sounded like it had a profound impact. How do you think that help you develop as a person and a football player?
Just as a person, I'm just so much more grateful now. Like the way I live is just so modest. Ever since, even before I went to Ethiopia, I was a modest person. But I feel like that just take when I went to Ethiopia to another level. They live off nothing really there. They make use of everything, I should say. And I just kind of tried to build that here with me and myself. Just trying to I make use of everything, recycle things, use things as much as I can, get the most out of like things I purchase and stuff like that. So I feel like the life it just made me more grateful, more understanding. And then with everything going on right now, it just takes me back, to that third world country, seeing how they go through what they go through, and we have resources to live a completely different life. But it's things that the power influence that's messing things up. But that's another topic.
Well, and it's also one of those things that it is bad. We're stuck inside, but
Right,
it could be worse.
right,
We could be stuck
right.
living in a garbage pile.
Yeah,
You also reminded me of something my nana used to do. Her Tupperware was all like leftover, like Cool Whip
right,
containers and stuff like that.
right.
She was
Yeah,
always reusing stuff. There
yeah,
was nothing that couldn't go to waste.
right.
I'm curious just to get back to football too. Stoops was talking about working in space, but when you're down on the line of scrimmage, you'll got some athletes inside now.
Yeah,
There's some Phil's coming back next year.
right.
JP's moving down to defensive end. How
Yeah.
can that give you all more options to rush the passer when you've got guys like that playing in?
That'd be very versatile. I feel like, like NFL, the 49ers, their D-line was very versatile. They had a lot of guys who can rush in a lot of different areas, and they dominated the NFL in pass rush just because they had so many guys with versatile ability who can rush from the inside, 3-tech, 4-tech, outside the 9, and they did a lot of different things, with that versatile front. So I feel like with me, Jordan Wright, Pascal, Bill, JJ Weaver, Loon, we got a lot of guys that can rotate and play different positions across the front. And I think if we get multiple up front, then we can reach some havoc.
Well, and especially if y'all do the magic thing on third down
Right.
and just I mean, heck, you could have Josh at the nose. I
Right.
mean, you know what I
Right.
mean? So
Right.
there's a lot of different options.
Yeah.
Two guys I did want to ask you about, even though they don't play your position, but Jordan Wright, he really came along strong last
Right.
year. I mean, it slowly, it's surely got there. And the same thing with JJ, even though we only
Right.
saw him in 4 games. What did
Right.
how did those guys, for lack of a better term, figure it out?
Well, I think Jordan, he just had to trust Coach White. Kind of the same way with me that first spring. That Coach White got here, just kind of really trusting what he's telling you, knowing that it's going to make a difference. We're kids. We play sports our whole life, so we do things certain way that we thought was the way to do it.
Mhm.
Our whole life. So once a guy comes from NFL tutelage, it comes with you a different term. It takes a while to process that, but once you do process that, it takes you to another level. So I think for me and also Jordan Wright, just having different coaches when we first got here, and then him coming in, after we transitioned to his terminology and doing things his way, I think we both took our game to the next level. And I think it's a blessing that JJ comes in as a freshman and hopefully gets him for 3-4 years.
Well, and it feels like too that it's almost like a timing thing where
Right.
uh, you kind of go through. You're playing a lot as like a sophomore, and it's not
Right.
necessarily great. And then there's like a breakthrough because it almost happened the same with Josh, where it's like,
Right.
all right, slow and steady, and then boom,
Right.
good year, and now let's blow up and let's have
Right.
15 sacks
Right.
or whatever.
Right.
It, I
Hope Dub and JJ can follow the footsteps.
Now,
For sure.
do you got a number you want this year? Do you do stuff like that? Do you have a number?
Sacks, yeah, I definitely got a number. I'm
Well,
keeping it to myself, but I got a number.
are you willing to share it, or are you gonna keep that to yourself?
I'm keeping it to myself. Keep it to myself. I don't want to jinx it, put it out there, but I definitely got a number. I'm definitely
Now,
double digits.
okay. Now, with some of those younger guys right now, uh, first off, who is? I know Jared was working behind you last year. Who's running with twos at the Sam now?
It's KD, Sam, JJ, Jack with the twos.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then how does Xavier Peters fit into the equation? Is he running Jack, Sam, or?
Well, he's a little bit of both. He's versatile enough to do both, but I think he's mainly a Jack. He's
Okay.
probably better than Jack. Bigger body, strong. So I think
Got
he's
you.
better than Jack.
Yeah, KD was one of those guys. I remember watching this film, being like, "Hey, they're all talking about JJ, but this KD guy's pretty good. What does he do well, and where is he still kind of figuring things out?"
I think he has great bend around the edge as a pass rusher. He bends very well. And I think just the dropping scheme for him is completely different. At high school, he rushed a lot, and he didn't really have the drop from a Sam position as a high schooler. And I think just that is the biggest thing for him, is just getting the drop down, getting the terminology down, and understand the versatility of the position. If you just send him as a dropper, as a rusher, he'll be good. Or if you just send him as a dropper, he'll be good. But just combining the two is definitely a process for him.
I feel like it's one of those things too, that the first time you kind of get out there on an island and you're looking, you think you know what you're doing, and then some dude comes out of nowhere. Like I feel like whereas just putting your hand down and running after a quarterback, like come on. Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to let you go, but I do. How just what's it like just preparing for this season, knowing that there's a lot of talent, but also how weird things have been? How do you try to process it all and prepare?
I'm just intrigued to see how it all plays out. I want to know what the fan situation is going to be. What the traveling situation is going to be. I'm just interested to see how it all pans out. So I'll just try to go in every day. Starting the day and get my body back in tip-top shape. Get in the weight room again, get running again. Just try to see how everything plays out.
Yeah, and it's one thing too that we think about. Well, they're around other people. Surely they get over it, but I'd still think that you're probably a little worried about hopping on a plane going to Florida.
Right.
That's something that
you run into. Right.
Yeah. So, but either way, it's kind of weird. But at least this is the first setback, one day at a time, and you'll be out there running up that hill in the heat of the day in no time.
Right.
I'm sure you haven't missed that hill very much.
Not at all.
Well, I appreciate you catching up with us, Boogie. Take it easy, and best of luck getting back to the workouts.
Appreciate you.